Like having had those experiences that you had with him, like in terms of because he was very fresh off leaving WWE. It was like say a year, like when you met
Yeah,
him and
it
like
was
you
about
started
a
filming.
year or two. Yeah, somewhere
Yes,
in there.
which is still pretty fresh. And like he was real, like he was at least from fan perspective and what we would see and hear, very negative on the wrestling as a whole. He seemed so knowing that and kind of knowing him. Did it shock you that he's actually now back all these years later?
Yeah, it did. It did surprise me, you know. But I mean, in wrestling, I guess never say never. I mean, I never thought Bret Hart would go back to
Yeah,
WWE, but you know, he wasn't. He was just kind of like when we were filming, wrestling wasn't even in his mind. Like to me, that was like completely in the rear view. So something had changed. And you look, as you get older, you mature, you change, and but still, yeah, it was surprising. But look, the WME owns UFC and WWE now, so there's new ownership, and I got to know Triple H a little bit working on the Ric Flair
yeah,
documentary, and that guy was awesome. And that's just my little slice that I worked with. Like he sat and watched the rough cut. He actually saw the cut of the film before Ric Flair did.
mm.
He was the first person to see it, and he was so supportive and so cool. And he sent me like a text. I wish I still had it on the night it premiered. And he seems like what I gathered from him, you know, like kind of the perfect person to be running things because he's a wrestler, so he knows what it's like to be a wrestler and everything. But he seems to be very pragmatic, like in his approach with things, like very like wants to get along with people,